Oh, it's Captain and Michele.
Oh, nice.
Yo, buddy. All right, let me figure out how to do that. We still got no audio. We're trying to have a Zoom meeting. Neither one of us has audio.
So far we're taking notes and showing pictures.
Woo! We finally figured out Zoom.
We got a chance to catch up with our friends Doug and Loretta from Interstate Adventures. They're remodeling their RV themselves, and we wanted to see how it was going. So we sat down with them for a fun Zoom session to get the lowdown.
Good. A hot mess.
It's been interesting. We decided to gut the RV and re-insulate it, and that led to a lot more problems than we thought. Definitely check them out. We got to meet them on the road last season. Really, really cool people. A lot of fun to hang out with. So if you see them on the road, definitely say hi, because they're really cool people to hang out with and a lot of fun. We've made a lot of progress with our RV renovation project this week. We finally started doing some of the RV upgrades that we've been planning on doing for the last month and a half. The RV upgrades that we were working on this week had to do with efficient cooling of the RV. Now, the first thing that we did was installed a low temperature UV blocking window film on the front cap. Even though it's curved in two different directions, we were able to get it to fit the form of the window, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. First thing that you're going to do is get a rough cut of the size of the window, leaving some extra overlapping the outside of your window. A 6-foot piece will give us 2 inches of overhang on both sides, so we're going to go 6 feet wide, 45 inches tall. Then you're going to tape window film up on your window, sticky side out, because you're going to take it off the outside of the camper and bring it inside. This is just to form the film to the shape of the curved front window. Also tape the bottom in the middle so that it has a pull point so that the film stretches the way you want it to. Then we're going to use a heat gun on the low setting, heat up the film so that it tightens up and forms to the shape of the window. Now once you've got the window film generally shaped to the curvature of your window, you're going to take a nice brand new sharp razor blade and trim along the edge and then tape nice and tight in order to get the form. Then you're going to go over it again to smooth out any wrinkles. Now once you've got your general shape trimmed out and all your edges taped so it's got a nice pull point, you're going to go back over it with the heat gun to smooth out all the wrinkles and lock in the form of the window. Then you can bring it inside and apply it to the inside of the window. So now that we've got the window film shaped to the front window, we're going to go inside, make sure the window is nice and clean, because any imperfections that are on the window are going to be there permanently once it's put on. Once that's done, we'll take the window film inside and apply it on the inside of the window. Now we're going to put a really generous helping of Windex over the entire window so that we can put the film on and get it lined up, squeegee out any wrinkles, and then trim the edges. And you're going to start in the center of your window and squeegee outward to each edge to push all the Windex out from behind your window coating and let the window coating stick to your window. And there you have it. You've got a nice low E coating on a curved window now. We got a nice smooth application. It's curved in 4 different directions here, and it went on nice and smooth. So now all we've got to do is do the rest of the flat windows in the RV, and that's going to block up to 70% of the UV light coming in. I can tell you already, just standing in front of this window with the sun over there, there is a massive difference in the temperature right here. This has always been a thorn in our side. The amount of heat radiating through all the windows makes it that much harder for the AC to keep the RV cool. This is just one giant radiator in the summertime, so this coating on here is going to make a huge difference. Now we're going to get started on upgrading our RV AC, and between the two of these upgrades, hopefully this summer will be a lot cooler in here. Now the second thing that we're going to be installing today is this diverter for our air conditioner from our friends at RV Airflow. Now what this does is it actually makes the air run through your ductwork up to 40% more efficiently, giving you a higher exit volume and speed, thus making your air conditioner work better. The way that this works, the styrofoam cutout that has these slopes cut into it, which causes the air to flow through it faster instead of just dumping down and then out, having to make that hard 90-degree turn. This is something that we've wanted to install for a long time. While the ceiling is out and we're in the middle of renovating the camper, it's a perfect time for us to install this. We've just got to cut this piece of plywood out of the way so that we can get to the air box, because our living room AC is permanently ducted. It doesn't have that diverter switch in it. You can just have it dump or go through the ducts. Ours is permanently ducted and everything's behind the ceiling in the RV. So while it's all out, we're going to take this apart, put this in, and then hopefully one air conditioner will actually cool this room. Now that we've got the better insulation in the front cap and that window film on the front window, there's already a difference in here. It's about 94 degrees outside right now. You can't feel the heat radiating through the front cap anymore. So we're hoping that by adding this diverter in there, this is going to add a lot better cooling factor to this air conditioner. So we're going to get started on pulling this apart now. Now, the first step is going to be to take these air duct reinforcements and put those into the air duct so that the diverter has something nice and solid to mount up to. So we're going to have to pull that out because they've got part of the ductwork blocked with some of the framing, which could be partially why it doesn't work so well. And it looks like we'll probably end up having to alter the framing for that to fit as well. And we do. Awesome. That's going to be fun. We had to take a whole lot out of the ceiling just because of the way it was framed in. We also had to remove a little bit of material from the unit itself to accommodate some of the other framing up there. So the next step after you get these inserts into your ductwork is to put on this double stick foam. And what that's going to do is butt up against these inserts and give you that nice tight seal so all of your air conditioning is going down and out of your air conditioning ducts. Well, that's it. So now the only thing to do is test it and see if it actually cools the RV off, because just having this one living room AC on would never cool it off. So time will tell. Let's see what happens. Alright, I don't have an anemometer to measure the wind speed coming out of here, but I can tell you it is absolutely blowing harder than it ever has in the past. So 2 thumbs up for RV airflow. I don't think the fitment was their issue. I think that was partially just because it was permanently ducted and just the way that things were done, or I might have ordered the wrong one, I don't know. But even at the wrong one, I mean, there is like leaf blower force coming out of this thing, so definitely should cool the camper off a lot faster. Insulation up front is done, so now we're just going to re-insulate the slide, insulate the roof, and then the walls are done, and hopefully it'll stay cool in here. So on to the next project. That new RV airflow AC ductwork plenum worked pretty well yesterday. After installing it, it brought the temperature down in the RV 5 degrees in half an hour, which it had never done before, especially only on one air conditioning unit. So that's pretty impressive if you ask me. Like I said, the force of the air coming out is insane. So I've got a few errands to run today, so I'm going to give it a good test and put the AC on today because it's supposed to be in the 90s again with about 90% humidity. I'm going to put the AC on and see how it does when I get back from that. I should be back around 9, which should give it some time to warm up in the sun if it's going to warm up. And as long as it keeps it cool in here, I'm going to call that a win for that RV Airflow Plenum Edition. And then we can get started on adding the rest of the insulation back in. We can get this renovation back on the install part of it rather than finding more problems. So I just got back to the RV. It's about 90 degrees outside right now, and the AC is holding at 77 degrees in the RV in direct sun. No insulation in the ceiling, none in the slide. So I'm going to call that a win because it had never kept up this well in the past. So once we get this insulation put back in, I think this was well worth the money from RV Airflow to get that piece that goes into the air conditioner. Definitely working a lot better than it used to. I'm going to get started on doing some insulation and hopefully get caught back up onto our time schedule here because Hershey's coming up quick and I'm running out of time. Now the final project for this week was re-insulating the rest of the RV. In the slide, we used a rigid foam insulation with a radiant heat barrier on one side. Instead of using a piece of rigid foam that would fill the entire gap in the wall, we decided to use 2 pieces to fill each void in the wall. We put one piece with the radiant barrier facing out so that it would block the radiant sunlight in the summertime. Then, to fill the rest of the gap, we used another piece with the radiant barrier facing in to keep the heat in the wintertime. Now, the rigid foam insulation is a lot less susceptible to mold, so in the future, if there is another leak, it shouldn't develop mold as easily. Any pieces that didn't fit quite as well as they should have, we were able to use a piece of foil tape to seal up that gap and hold the foam board in. We replaced this insulation in the ceiling with R13 insulation, so it's much better than what we had to start with. Stay tuned for our video next week. We're going to have the follow-up video to our slide repair video where we're going to show you how to replace your slide motor, your slide rollers, your slide cables, get your slides properly leveled and adjusted nice and square so they roll in nice and smooth. And then it's on to the major part of the renovation that we should have been on a couple weeks ago. We're going to be raising the floor, building an entertainment center, painting the walls, and buttoning this thing back up together, hopefully before our Hershey trip in 4 weeks. So stick around and see how we do with it. Don't forget to check out our friends, the Captain and Michelle. Like and subscribe to this video and to theirs.